So the US government is not making pennies anymore. Banks are not giving pennies out. They're not giving pennies to the stores. So the stores in turn don't have enough pennies to give you, because I think they're trying to phase it out, or they're trying to have you use your credit card or your debit card. They're not giving you your exact change. So let's say if you bought something and your change came up to like $1.21, you know, they are going to give you $1.20. They're not going to give you back your cent, the penny. They're not going to give you back your penny. Some stores will run it up and give you a nickel. I think it has to be like three cents and up for them to run it up. But most of the time, if it's like 2 cent or two cent or a cent, they run it
So
down.
pennies are done. The government decided they cost too much to make, more than the actual value of the penny itself. Now stores are going to start phasing out the penny. Eventually they won't have it and won't be able to give exact change to people who pay with cash. But it's okay. They've come up with a solution for that. They're just going to round up and pass the costs on to us, the customers. Isn't that nice? And I know we're talking about pennies here, it's not that much, but over the course of a year, it adds up, right? And in this economy, shit, I'll take the penny.
Okay, people. I just came out of Home Depot, bought some stuff. My change was $10.51. They rounded it down. The girl tried to give me $10.50. I asked where my penny was, because that's my money. She said, we don't have pennies. We round it down. I said, nope, you either take this stuff back or you go get your manager. I want my money. Corporate's not keeping their customers' money. You want to round? You round up. Manager came over and she said, we don't have pennies, sir. I was like, well, then you're going to give me a nickel. And she looked at me. I was like, nope, that's my money. You don't keep my money. That's stealing from me. So she said, give him the money. Give him a nickel. Don't argue with him. So I made him give me my nickel. So you either give me a penny or you round up. There's hundreds of millions of pennies still out on the market. There's no excuse for this. They just stopped making them. People, don't let them keep your money.
Back from the store, and my change was supposed to be $2.53, and he gives me $2.50. So I say, well, where's the rest of my change? He tells me, oh, we don't take pennies anymore. I said, well, I do. He said, well, we don't have any pennies in the store. I said, well, give me a nickel. You're not going to short me because you don't take pennies. I take them. Give me my money.
Very weird. I just went to the bank and they were like, we're not giving out pennies anymore. You can't get pennies. We're not giving pennies. And I was like, how am I supposed to get change for my business? And they were like, you need to decide whether you're going to round up or round down, but we're not doing pennies anymore. Huh?
So apparently we don't have pennies. Our store don't accept pennies no more. So when you're doing it, when you give me, hold on. So when you get 1 cent or 2 cent, it gets 0. When it ends in 3 cents or 4 cents, it rounds up to 5 cents. 5 cents to 6 cents, I give you exact change. 5 or 0 cents exact change. 6 or 7, you get 5 cents. 8 or 9, you get 10 cents. So if you're a customer, you're coming to McDonald's, or at least our company McDonald's, we don't have pennies. So you're gonna get your change like that. Don't be mad at me. Be mad at the world. We're losing pennies.
Tell me if I'm petty. I just left the store, and I'm a cash girl. I pay with cash, and when the cashier goes to give me my change, she says, "Oh, I'm sorry. There's a shortage of pennies. We're not receiving pennies anymore, so we just have to round." And she plops the money in my hand, and I notice she's rounded down. So how instantly it pissed me off, because how is it my fault? Like, I know it's just pennies, but that really bothered me. Give me my money. Like, why am I taking the short end of the stick?
is going to happen to all these pennies? I don't understand why they're like not giving pennies. If you still have a lot of pennies in circulation, the pennies haven't instantly just disappeared. They're still floating around somewhere. There's a lot of pennies out there. They just stopped making them. They're not going to make them anymore because, according to the US government, it costs them more money to make pennies, and they're not getting the return off of it. Now that you're phasing the pennies out, we the customers are suffering the price for it. Because just imagine, like 100 people go to a store, like, I don't know, Dollar Tree or something, and they keep each penny from a customer. Do you know how much money the store will make? So, like, my question is, where is all this money going towards? Like, who is keeping the extra change? I get that some instance they're going to run it up, but who is also going to keep those extra changes? Like those 3 cents, 1 cent, 2 cents. Who is keeping it? Is it going to go to the reserve, or is the store keeping it? That's a big thing. That's our money. You don't have the right to, even if it's a cent, a penny. I still want my penny. It up like Kroger. Kroger said that you have to come in their store with exact change. Who is going to the store to buy something and says, oh, let's say I'm going to buy a tomato with this exact change? You don't even know how much the tomatoes is or is going to be when you get in the store. You probably know it's $1 because you bought it yesterday, but today it could be $1.25 or $1.26. You know what I mean? So no one can ever have this exact amount of money to use. I think that trying to get us to use more credit cards, that trying to get us to stop using cash. That's my opinion. I think that because you can't tell me that pennies have been in existence for as long as, I don't know, US was born, and all of a sudden they stopped making pennies. They didn't know that pennies cost them money to make way then. They're just now realizing pennies cost them money to make. I don't know. I just kind of feel like they're trying to have us not use as much cash. They're trying to have us depend on credit cards and debit cards. Like, it's going to be like no more cash. There's some type of way about it. I don't know, because I'm the type that doesn't really count my change when you give me. I just count the bills, but not the change. I just usually just put it in my purse, in my car, whatever. Now that they're keeping extra changes, I'm going to start keeping up with my change, and I'm going to demand my change back. So if you can give me my exact change, just run it up. Don't run it down. Run it up and give it to me. You take the loss. Why do I have to take the loss? You take the loss. So I don't know, but we will see how this whole thing play out. But I feel like there shouldn't be a shortage of pennies right now at this moment. Some stores have stopped giving pennies altogether. You know what I mean? Like, some stores are not even giving pennies out anymore. So, which is weird because there's a lot of pennies floating around, like a lot of pennies in circulation right now. So there shouldn't be a shortage of pennies anytime soon. Eventually pennies are going to be disappearing, like they're going to disappear. But now there should be a lot of pennies. There should be more pennies. But stores are not getting the pennies, so they're not giving you back your exact change that you need. But yeah, so this is what is happening right now. But we see how it goes. And make sure you count your change whenever you go and you use cash. Make sure you count your change. And yeah, let me know what you think about this story down in the comment section below. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you all in my next video.